everyone. Tina Hogan Grant here with my with my regular Cuppa A Natter. I'm already laughing and I haven't even introduced my guest yet. I do this twice a month on a Monday. I bring authors into my home. We talk about books, writing, life as an author, and whatever comes to mind. And that could be anything with my guest tonight, which is Beth Worsdell. How are you doing this evening, my dear?
I'm doing good. Thank you, my darling. It's been blooming hot.
Tell me about it. And you left California. We're hot here too. I am so done with this heat. I mean, it's only been like this, I don't know, less than a week. And it's like, I'm done. Bring me some rain. But we did have, and I told you before we came live, we had like a torrential downpour yesterday. Just rain and thunderstorms and lightning. But now it's humid. The ground's wet. The clouds are in the sky. And then today, you know what you missed today?
Go on.
4.2 earthquake.
Really?
We had an earthquake about, I don't know, an hour ago. I was sitting up here and I felt this jolt. That was an earthquake. But we know in California, it wasn't nothing like, oh my God. It was just a quick jolt and it was over.
It's funny because there's been quite a few in California over the last 6 months. So it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Quite amazing.
And then I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he was telling me that a bear broke into his house. Never a dull moment in California. See what you're missing? But you're in Georgia.
It's crazy. I do miss our cabin. I really, really do. And because we were 6,000 feet up in California, it was a good 20 degrees cooler than everywhere else. So I do miss the lower temperatures. And now obviously I'm here and it's humid as hell. And when it's in the 90s, with the humidity as well, it always feels like a few degrees higher than it actually is. So
now
yeah,
you were in the mountains here in California, the last place you lived at. What kind of neighborhood are you in now?
We actually feel like we lucked out because we're in a really small subdivision. We are sort of 10 minutes away from the main road, if that. But so we're just far enough away from the main road, all the shops and everything else. So you can't hear it, but it's literally just down the road. And our neighbours, the neighbours that we've met so far, have all been here 20 and 30 years. They just don't want to leave. So we're taking that as a good sign.
What are the winters like?
I can only really go by what it was like when we lived in South Carolina. And the winters weren't too bad. They were fairly mild compared to living up in the mountains of Cali. But yeah, maybe the odd day of snow, cool temperatures, probably like 40s and 50s, maybe.
Oh, okay. So not
Sorry. Hey. Blooming dogs, honestly. They think they're all guard dogs, which they are not.
My Jack is being a good boy for once. I do want to pause, Beth. I always love talking to you, but I see a ton of people here that have joined us. So let's say hello to see who's joining us. We've got Holly here. She says, oh, wait, she was there a minute ago. Holly is here. And
my gorgeous daughter.
Okay, okay, my phone is acting up. Let me start over. Okay, we've got Karen here. There's Karen. We've got Lori. Hi, Lori. We've got Virgie. We have Karen number 2, Karen Geeling. We got Carol. We have Barbara. I know you know all these people.
I know many of them.
Skinner. I think I put Belinda up just in case I didn't. There's Belinda. And again, I'm talking to Beth Worsdell. I know most of you know her. She gets around online. But if you have any questions for Beth, go ahead and put them in the comments and I will get to as many as I can. We've been talking about Georgia. This is not a chat about Georgia, but you just moved there. We're talking about your books. And I have read your latest book, which is called Inclusa. And I have to say, you have me in stitches.
That makes my heart so happy.
I should have asked you this before we went live, but do you have a copy of it next to you?
I managed, bear in mind, I'm still unpacking because we've literally only just moved. So I do have my proof copy.
Okay, there we go.
Could I find my other copies that are in a box somewhere? No, I couldn't. But this is Calling Clarissa.
Okay, and
big beautiful book.
It is a gorgeous book. It's a big book, but it's hysterical. It's a romantic rom-com. I want to ask you first: is what inspired this book? Because it's not your everyday normal book.
It's not. It's not. It's not the average British romantic comedy either. I mean, when you think of a good British romantic comedy, you're thinking Notting Hill and Bridget Jones and that sort of stuff. Calling Clarissa is spicier with a bit of kinkiness to it, but in a really funny way.
Yeah.
And my inspiration came from personal experience in a way. In a way.
Kinky stuff?
No. So basically, I used to back in the UK, I worked for a company called Ann Summers, and Ann Summers was a company that sold, should we say, adult toys and lingerie. Now, one of my regular clients, because I used to do ladies' parties, so I would go to a lady's house. She would invite all her girlfriends, and I would do party games, show all the toys and lingerie and sell it all. Well, I got to say, it was like having a girls' night out and being paid for it. It was hilarious. And I got to be honest, I did have such good party games. So I was always booked. But one of my regular clients who would have a party every few months, she actually worked on a phone chat line, adult chat line. She was a single mum. She had young children. She had an ex who was a bit of an arsehole, who didn't help her out financially. So when the kids were in bed, she would get on the phone, and the kids couldn't hear her, but she was able to work from home, earn good money without having to pay a ton of childcare, and do it around her children. So as the kids grew up, she could do it during the day while they were at school, and then at night when they went to bed. Well, the stories that she would come out with would have me dying. Literally, I tell you, there is nothing as strange as people, and you would not believe the kinks that some people have. But the thing is, and what I quickly realized is that when you actually think about it, we all have a kink for something. It's just in various degrees. So, for example, I like manly men, and I love a man with a beard. When my husband grows a beard, I cannot leave him alone.
You can't keep your hands off him, right?
I can't help it. So we've all got a kink for something. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But when she used to tell me these stories of people that have got these like way out there,
like in your book,
like in my book, it's just funny, and I think you've got to laugh at these things, because you know at the end of the day
you have to laugh, and
you do.
Know, I mean, some of the things I read, I'm like, where is she getting this stuff from? I mean, I have to ask, some of the kinks in your book, are they from some of the stories that this woman told you, or these are just ones that you came up with?
Everything in the book, like call-wise, is based off something that actually occurred, but I used my imagination to change things.
I mean, if you're like me, you do a lot of research on your computer. I would love to see your history while researching that book. I can just only imagine. I might have to snapshot it for you. But what is funny is when you said you was going to read it, I was actually a little bit concerned, because it was so naughty and spicy, and I was going to read it. Yes, so I'm like, oh my God, I hope I don't shock her. I hope she still wants to be friends after. I think I've told you. I don't know if my readers know, but I don't mind now. Years ago, but I think I told you I used to have a website called Adult Gift Baskets.
I never knew that. And I have to say, I've since read a few of your books. And after I started reading yours, I'm like, why did I ever worry?
Yeah, why did you worry? Come on now. Yeah. But no, the Adult Gift Baskets, I had a website, and I did the parties like you.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun, but I used to get such a kick out when I first walked in. You probably experienced the same thing, but everyone was so frigid and so shy and afraid to touch anything. But after 3 martinis, they were being tossed across the room.
See, I must admit, I am very good with people like you. I have a knack of connecting with people quite quickly. And I do understand, even though I've got no qualifications in psychology, but I've always been in sales, always.
You're a people's person.
Yeah, ever since I came out of the Air Force, I was always in sales. So I'm very good with people, and I'm very quick to understand people. So when I started doing the Ann Summers parties, I quickly realized that the quicker I got everybody laughing and joking, the quicker everybody would relax. So I laminated name tags and had like 20 to 30 of these name tags, and I would make everybody put one on right at the beginning of the party, and they'd be called like Big Butt Betty, Flaunting Fanny, Pussy Galore, and all this sort of stuff. So the rule was that straight from the off, they would have to call each other by their badge names.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And not their real names. Otherwise, they'd have to do some sort of funny forfeit or tell a funny story or a naughty joke. And within 10 minutes, everybody was like laughing and giggling, because you would straight away get 2 or 3 people calling somebody by the wrong name, and it was brilliant. But yeah, I miss those days because it was so much fun.
Yeah, it sounded like a lot. And I did those parties too, and they were a blast. They were. And I loved doing the adult gift baskets, but what killed me was the shipping. When shipping started going up, there was no way around it. These baskets, were big boxes, and they would ship more by the size, not the weight.
Yeah.
I can't be doing this anymore.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. But the nice thing is I've had such an amazing amount of tremendous reviews and comments and messages about calling Clarissa, and some of the messages and comments I've had have been even funnier than my book.
Yeah, I've seen some of this. Brilliant. And I do want to bring this up because I know you started a new book, which I want to talk to you about in a little bit, but there is going to be a Clarissa book too, correct?
There will be. I did start it, but with one thing and another moving, and like you, I tend to have a book of notes. So all my information is in that book, the timeline, the characters, things like their characters' birthdays, everything is in this book. And can I find it?
No, you just moved.
I have not found it yet.
Of course you can.
So, and I'm still unpacking boxes, and we have the movers from hell. So many of our boxes were damaged. We've had furniture damaged. Boxes have just been like dropped on the floor and just stuff broken. And when there was about 8 or 9 of these movers bringing the stuff to the new house. And as quick as we're trying to tell them which room it has to go in, a lot of it was just dumped in the garage. And so I'm still hunting for all my calling Clarissa information.
Now, I'm sure you spent a bloody fortune on this moving company. Are they going to reimburse you for any of this damage? Or because I also remember them taking forever with your stuff.
Yeah, they took 3 weeks. From the time they picked it up from the house, from the cabin, it took 3 weeks. So we literally moved in, and we ended up buying a new sofa, a small table and chairs so we could sit down and eat, inflatable mattresses. Luckily, we bought a 5th wheel camper, and because I didn't want to keep taking stuff on and off, I decked it all out. So I had all kitchen stuff. I had an extra mattress. I had towels and bedding, all on the camper.
You were well prepared.
Yes, well, because as I said, when we go away for like weekend trips and stuff like that, I didn't want to have to keep taking it on and off. So when we arrived here, everything on the camper came off and came into the house until all our stuff arrived, and then it all went back on.
Oh my Lord. So anyway, back to Clarissa book 2. You can't find the notes. So that book is on, I guess, on standby or on hold. I find that book. There's no books.
I have started it. So it's already in progress, but obviously I can only do so much without being able to go back to all my notes on the characters and everything else. So I'm hoping, I mean, I published Calling Clarissa like last May, so I'm hoping to try and get Calling Clarissa book 2 out for next May now. I'm not.
You've had a lot going on.
Yeah. The last 3 years have been crazy, absolutely crazy. But in the meantime, I've had this burning idea for a new novel, and it's just been literally just popping. You know what it's like? It's popping in my head, and it's going to be called Icy Red.
I like the title.
It's going to be exactly, and it's going to be like a paranormal type, urban fantasy type book, but it's also steeped in ancient myths as well. Because my
stuff.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to have that, but I think it's definitely going to have a love interest for sure. But I don't know how much spice is going to be in it until there's a connection there. Do you know what I mean? So, but I'm really excited about this one. I'm really excited because
I saw your little Primo thing, and that was really good. And you got my attention just with the graphic. And I never know when I start writing a book whether it's going to be a standalone or a series. Do you know if this to be a series?
I think it's just going to be a standalone.
Standalone. And do you have any? I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt. But do you have any idea of when it will be released? Not like any pressure.
I have. Do you know? At this point, I have no clue because, as I said, I'm still unpacking. We've still got lots to do because you know what it's like when you move to a completely different area. You know, you're not just moving, but then you have to re-register for your doctor and dentist and, new vet. And there's still a lot of stuff that I'm having to order.
Yeah, you're dealing with so much. I want to take another pause and bring our readers back in. We're not ignoring you. Me and Beth could just talk all bloody night, I swear to God. All right, let's see where we'll read the comments. I'm going back a little bit. We might have typed this a little bit. Let me see. Hold on. There's one I wanted to put up by Holly, and now I can't see it. Holly, this is not the one. Always barking while I'm in meetings. I hope Calling Clarissa gets turned into a movie. The Ultimate Girls Night Out. That's from Holly also. And Connie joined us. She says hello.
Hi, Connie.
Janet said it's an awesome book. Think Bad Moms.
It's interesting because Janet did say that to me, and Bad Mums is one of the funniest movies, and I can see why she feels that connection because Clarissa has the two bestest friends. I mean, they are hilarious, and
they're always there for her. They always got her back.
The banter between them, that's what I loved. I loved when I was writing their banter. And their sarkiness and taking the.
You know what I liked about it is that a lot of women can relate to what she did in order to provide for her kids. Yeah. I like the fact that there was kids in the book.
Yeah,
because it breaks it down to this is not bad what she's doing, which a lot of people might think. She's got 2 kids. It's totally innocent. But hilarious. But I like the fact that the kids were there too. It gives another purpose for what she was doing.
It's funny because it's actually quite. It was actually quite a deep thing for me My mum was a single parent for many, many years, and there was myself and my two sisters initially. And my mum was the most driven woman well, even now she's the most driven woman I know. And she would do like 2 jobs and look after us kids, plus do people's ironing if she was saving up for Christmas. And she would, she bought us all new duvets when duvets first came out, like in the early 70s, 80s and stuff. And she was always an inspiration. Yeah, she was always such an inspiration.
We had to do
she really did. She really did. And I think there are so many women, especially nowadays, because obviously women are more empowered to not have to stay in bad relationships. Whereas obviously when my mum was young, you would women were getting told, no, you have to stay with the marriage, you just have to put up with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas nowadays women have the power and the confidence to say, no, I'm not putting up with that shit. I'm gonna leave you, I'm gonna kick you out, and I'm gonna move on. Because the thing is, as women, we may love our men, but we don't need them anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because we can buy a house in our own right now. It's acceptable for us to work and raise children at the same time.
Yeah, back in the day, women were so suppressed.
Yeah,
they were pretty much told, you don't have any choices. You have to, settle. This is your life, and put up with it.
Exactly. So Clarissa felt really close to my heart because she had a cheating ex-husband who was just an absolute arse. He really, really was. He complete narcissist, only cared about himself. So she made the tough decision after finally having proof of him cheating to kick him out. And she's a struggling mom. She's trying to hold down a full-time job. She's got 2 little boys who she's constantly protecting. She doesn't badmouth their dad to them, and she's always protecting them, even when he rejects them through not wanting to know what they're doing, how they are, and stuff like that. So she shields them all from that. And when she has an issue at work, I don't want to disclose too much, but when she has an issue at work and has to leave her job through somebody else's behavior, she then gets offered this suggestion of an alternative means of income, which turns out to be the best thing ever. I mean, she has fun. She finds her niche. She gets to talk to the funniest people. But I hope that in sharing her story, I was respectful to people who do have a kinky side, because it's normal. It's normal. I hope so. But the nice thing is that Clarissa hasn't got a clue what she's doing, especially when it comes to the kink dominance stuff. She has no clue what she's doing. She's just Googling stuff to try and figure it all out. And then, of course, she meets her hot, nerdy boyfriend. And he's always had an interest, but he really hasn't got a clue what it's all about either. So they're just trying to figure it out together.
Yeah, they discovered it together. I mean, what I like about it is the humor that you put into the kinks. That's what I like. And not only that, but Clarissa's reaction, because this is all new to her.
Yeah. Her mind is
she's
blown.
on the phone trying not to laugh, because this is all new to her. And I'm just waiting for her to burst out laughing. And I can just see myself just holding my breath while this guy is telling his fetish. So it was good.
What do you do if somebody's talking to you directly and all of a sudden they drop into the conversation that they've got a thing for inflatable penguins? what do you do?
This is a song. Can you imagine? I'm gonna have to put this challenge in the adult channel to keep this up. Hold on a second. I want to put up some more comments. You know what? Also, I might be putting you on the spot here, because we were talking about way other stuff, and normally I would ask my guest to be some questions, which I just totally did not. But Do you want to read a paragraph or two from Clarissa? I usually give the authors an option to do that. You have the book right there.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
pressure. No pressure.
I could do that. Just while you're saying hello to other people.
Yeah, I'm going to publish in comments while you find out what you want to read. But I usually ask before we go live. So I don't
that's fine. But just so
I
everybody knows,
with you. Huh?
Just so everybody knows who's watching, because you've just had your 5th anniversary for your Read More Books group, and because of today's interview, I've actually made Calling Clarissa ebook free. Today's the last day, so if you want to read Calling Clarissa, you can download it from Amazon free today. It's the last day. Yeah, and you have it until midnight tonight, my time, California time. And Earth Angels Book 1, which is this one, that ebook is still free to download permanently.
If you want to drop the links in the comments after the chat, I'll pop it in my group, either or.
I can do that.
Karen is here. Karen, my admin. If you see a post from Beth, she'll approve it for you. So drop the links in. You should have told me about that. I would have put it in the group earlier.
Oh, that's all right. No worries. No worries.
But yeah, put it in the group, and if I'm not around, Karen's my left arm or right arm, whichever one you want to take.
Okay.
All right, let me look at some of these comments while you're finding a book. Connie says, Beth, you are a hoot, and I love when you get on here with Tina.
Oh.
Carol says, love what inspired you to write Calling Clarissa. Belinda does not like beards. This is going back in the conversation. Let me see. Oh, I like this one. This is one I was looking for. Holly says, I will never look at my husband's tools the same way again.
Mr. Sensen tools.
You had a gift basket. I did, and it was actually adultgiftbaskets.com, but I sold it. But anyways, it was a lot of fun when I did it. I'm going to pop this up while you're looking. It's a question for you. Karen's asking, what made you choose the name Clarissa?
Do you know what? I don't know. Your characters tend to just speak to you. And just as soon as I pictured her in my head, it was like she told me her name was Clarissa. And I've always loved the name Darcy. Clarissa Darcy. I don't know.
It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, I think it's just your characters just talk to you, you know.
And then Connie says, I can actually see Beth sitting down, writing Beth's book. I have tissues because you are going to laugh.
Oh my God.
Let me know when you're ready. I'm going to keep going through comments. Lori says, do your characters have any of your qualities? I want to know if any of the kinks are yours.
Well, I like nice butts.
Okay.
I like nice blue eyes, and I like beards. So that's about as kinky as I get. And
okay.
The thing is, I've written this book, and yet I've never ever in my life done domination in real life ever.
Okay. Now you're a pro.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, has your husband read your book?
No.
I want to say he's probably looking at you like, oh my God.
The funny thing is, my husband's not a big reader, and he never really has been. He's always been very into sports. He loves a good movie, things like Gladiator and Braveheart and stuff like that. So he's like, he's more into those sort of things. But yeah, he's never really been a big reader. It's always been me who's been the big reader.
Okay, Gordon's read all the Steamy Slater series.
And that is why you're happily married.
Okay, Darlene joined us a while back. She says hello. Abby said, oh, where'd he go? There she is. Abby says, would you ever go back to doing the parties?
Do you know what? I would. I honestly would, but it's a lot of work. I mean, you have to self-promote a lot. You have to start building up your reputation because it's mainly word of mouth.
Sounds like a book.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It got to the point where I had to pretend that I had bookings on certain days and certain weekends in my diary, because obviously everything was physical then. You know, you didn't have a you could use. So yeah, I would literally have to pretend to be booked up for a week or a couple of days, whatever, just so I could have some time off. Because my parties I was just in demand. And it got to the point where I was being asked to do like big venues.
Sweet.
So yeah, there was one time I got asked to do a big venue. And I had to go on after a bunch of male strippers because it was like a big hen thing. Talk about intimidating. I mean, how do you follow that? Because all these guys swinging their Ujimi flips around, and then I have to go on and try and sell all these women like lingerie and stuff. It was interesting.
Okay, we know your husband didn't read your book, Clarissa. I'm talking about Clarissa. Karen wants to know about the rest of the family.
Okay, so my oldest daughter has read Calling Clarissa, and she absolutely loved it. Okay. But none of the kids could bring themselves to reading Earth's Angels because it was Earth's Angels was my first ever book, and I had no real clue what I was doing. I sort of based the characters' names and stuff like that off my kids, myself, and my husband, because it helped me keep tabs with what they look like, what sort of characteristics they had, and stuff like that. Of course, they can't read it and not
see themselves.
Detach themselves, even though it's not them.
Speaking of which, you've been talking so much about Clarissa because it's your latest book. Can you just give us a little outline while you're doing whatever you're doing?
Sorry,
about the
outline of what?
The trilogy.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Earth's Angels basically starts. Sorry, I'm having a hot flash. Good old menopause. It basically starts as like a first contact with aliens type story, and a post-apocalyptic event. Oh. So right at the beginning, you know, Earth is being pushed to the brink, and our human actions basically start a chain reaction ending our planet. And just as everything's going wrong, people are dying, etc., an alien race come to save us, to save our planet, save the animals, and basically they are healers of planets. It then starts to go into, as the trilogy progresses and the humans connect with all the aliens and build relationships, it then turns to, oh my gosh, there's another alien race that wants to come and completely destroy Earth and take all its resources because they followed Earth's Angels to Earth. So then there's a whole new concept that comes through, and obviously humans are then working with the ancient aliens to try and protect the planet, and it's a roller coaster.
It sounds like it. And it's 3 books. What I like about this trilogy is you've done a clean version and an adult version, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah. And the reason I did that was because I see so many parents losing that connection with their kids. The kids get to a certain age, and all of a sudden they don't want to read with their parents, and the parents don't want to read with the kids. So I wanted to keep enabling parents to keep reading with their children without having to miss out, so that parents can read their adult editions with bits of advice and stuff, and that children can read the completely clean editions. And it's the same story, but for different maturity levels, and they can still discuss it, talk about it, enjoy that reading experience.
He agrees.
He does. But also there are adults who, you know, some adults prefer a little bit of spice and they want that.
Right.
There are many adults who prefer a clean story, so it gives adults a choice as well.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a brilliant idea. How are we on picking something to read? Are you there?
Right. Well, I was trying to find the penguin incident, Unfortunately, I was trying to find it on my phone. I was just searching for the word penguin, but it keeps going down on me. So I will try one more time because
that's okay. I'm still looking through the comments.
That is the funniest one, or one of the funniest bits.
Okay, I'm going to pop up some questions while you're looking. Let me know when you're ready. Belinda says, is there any genres you don't like?
I must admit, I'm not big on like autobiographical books and things like that. To me, it's different. I like hearing somebody's life story and being able to ask them questions and connect with them and stuff like that. But I'm not very good at reading autobiographical books. I'm also not a massive history buff either. Although I'm not really a history buff.
Or history.
I'm not that massively keen on historical fiction, and unless it's very action packed.
I love historical fiction. That's one I love, but I'll never write because of the research. Karen is asking, is Clarissa an audiobook?
Not yet, but that is literally on my list to do.
Yeah, like mine too. And Dana's asking, do you like to travel? Hi, Dana. She must have joined us a little while ago.
Oh.
Dana said, other than the big move from California to Georgia.
I love traveling. I absolutely love traveling. And to be honest with you, it's something that I do miss because we used to do quite a bit of traveling. But everything gets so expensive now, especially since COVID. Everything went up in price, like flights and everything else. And it's not really come back down to the same level as it was before. So like most people, it sort of puts you off wanting to go and travel. And of course, when you've got kids,
yeah,
as soon as you say you're going somewhere, they all want to come.
Of course, yeah, you can't just go. When was the last time you were in England?
It's actually a good few years ago now. It must be about 5 years ago now. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think I'm around 10 for me.
Yeah, it's crazy. But again, it's so expensive. And obviously the UK is so expensive anyway because the tax rate is so high. So it's not just the flights, the hotel rooms are expensive.
And if you rent a car, then you've got to get fuel. Yeah.
Gas is astronomical. It's crazy.
Yeah. Belinda says she's a lot like Clarissa. And then Chelsea joined us. Chelsea Walters. She says, hello, everyone. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me scroll down. Did you find something yet?
Do you know what?
She loves the penguin scene.
Janet, if you can remember what page it's on, let me know because literally.
Is that the one you want to read? I don't have my book here, so I can't look.
I'm never going to find it. It's such a big book. And
okay, how about just the first couple of pages at the beginning? You want to do
that? Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
That's too easy.
I don't know why my phone's not working. Every time I put in penguin and do search, it just closes down on me.
Okay. All right, I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm going to get rid of this comment so we can see you.
No worries. Okay.
All right, go for it.
Clarissa stood at her kitchen sink washing yet another pile of dirty dishes as late afternoon sunshine streamed through her kitchen window, indicating the tail end of spring. She wondered if there was more to life. Same shit, different day, she said while cleaning another dirty plate. She had hoped to marry a good man like her father, but her ex-husband was a no-good asshole, a total narcissist, and an ego on legs. In fact, if anyone looked up the meaning of the word narcissist, they would see Nigel's picture next to the definition, and the word narcissist would be printed in bold. Clarissa had also hoped that Nigel would step up and be a decent father and husband when they had their two boys, Luke and Matthew. But no. Right, bad language coming up. Alas, the fucker was still the same selfish prick he always was. Hence, why Clarissa finally had the sense to kick out said fucker and was a lot happier on her own. Penniless, but happier. Clarissa wasn't the first, nor would she be the last, to realise that sometimes women are happier alone than miserable with their own personal arsehole. The problem was Nigel had no interest in helping to keep the roof over their heads or putting food on the table for the two sons he was supposed to love. He wasn't interested in making the most of the joint custody Clarissa had agreed to in their divorce either. So she was struggling to make ends meet alone. The only things that kept her going were her boys, close family, and her best friends, Becky and Hayley. Clarissa finished washing the last dirty plate, slipping off her yellow rubber gloves, and turned to her kettle, needing a cup of tea. She tightened her hair clip at the back of her head, barely keeping her mass of dark auburn hair contained, and sighed. Her mum always told her that tea made everything better. What a crock of shit, she told herself. She filled her electric kettle, switched it on, and grabbed her favourite large mug. It was the same mug she had bought when she and the arsehole had bought their first place together, a small studio flat above a betting shop. Placing her hands on her grey Formica countertop, she hung her head slowly, shaking it in disbelief. What on earth did I see in him? She asked herself while thinking about how Nigel was 10 years before. She had to admit the younger Nigel had been a catch, or so she had felt at the time. An ex-rugby player, he was pure muscle with natural olive skin, piercing blue eyes, thick dark hair, and a jaw you just wanted to kiss, or used to want to kiss. Now she would love to punch his jaw and dislodge a few teeth. Clarissa no longer found him attractive. She only saw a slimy, cheating bastard who couldn't keep his cock in his trousers and who thought he was God's personal gift to women everywhere. Never mind, Clarissa thought, reaching for her tea caddy and grabbing a tea bag for her mug. At least I've got girls' night to look forward to. She smiled broadly, knowing it was just what she needed. Clarissa hardly ever got to go out and enjoy herself. A low-paying sales and customer service job that she hated, and the childcare costs meant she couldn't afford a babysitter to go out. However, Clarissa did take turns with her best friends, Becky and Hayley, babysitting for each other when possible. However, when they wanted to go out together, they were pretty much out of luck because neither Becky's nor Hayley's husbands wished to look after more than their own kids, which she understood. Clarissa was looking forward to her girls' night. The cul-de-sac where she lived was away from the main road and was no longer a drive-through area, and she loved the peace and quiet. She also had a young neighbour, Steve, a 20-something computer programmer and drummer who didn't mind a bit of loud music or laughter when her girlfriends were over. The rest of her neighbours were mainly older, curtain twitchers who never missed anything. Becky and Hayley were the most incredible women that Clarissa had ever known. They'd been friends throughout childhood, always getting up to no good, and they were very good at not getting caught. They never did anything significant and always stuck by each other no matter what. Becky and Hayley had warned Clarissa that her ex-arsehole was indeed an arsehole when they started dating. But did Clarissa listen to her best friends in the world? No, she did not. If love had been any blinder, I would have been Stevie Wonder. However, if she hadn't married her ex-arsehole, she wouldn't have had her two sons, Luke and Matthew. And Clarissa loved her two boys with all her heart and wanted them to have the best possible life. Shall I keep going, or is that enough?
You can read the whole damn book. I don't care.
Well, I'll keep going to the funny bit. There we go. Clarissa added a little honey to her tea while her boys watched television before bedtime. Her boys were only 7 and 10 years old, so they went to bed at 8 p.m., although she did let them read for half an hour. She was surprised that they were still awake. It had been Luke's 10th birthday the day before, and Clarissa had hosted a birthday party for him at the house with the help of her best friends. They had decorated the downstairs with Luke's favourite Marvel characters and made all the kids' favourite nibbles, such as pizza, chicken nuggets and fries, and managed to entertain 12 kids for 4 hours. Clarissa, Haley, and Becky were exhausted by the time all the kids left. Did her ex-arsehole show up for his son's birthday? Hell no. The bastard didn't even have the decency to drop in or send a birthday card. Luke had been devastated that his dad didn't give a shit, and seeing her little boy cry yet again because of her ex tipped Clarissa over the edge. Clarissa had sent Nigel a blazing text message telling him what a low-life dad he was, including lots of expletives. Did the scumbag respond? No, he did not. 30 more minutes, boys, she told Luke and Matthew as she entered a lounge. Okay, I'm going to skip this bit to the funny one because it's long. I don't want to bore everybody.
Go.
By 8:30, Luke and Matthew were in bed. Aretha Franklin was singing Freeway of Love in the small lounge, and Clarissa was taking out a cheap bottle of white wine from the fridge while swaying her curvy hips to the music. She was just getting her groove on when a tap on her kitchen back door interrupted her dance, instantly making her smile. She turned to see Haley's large boobs pressed against the frosted glass window pane of her back door, making her giggle. "Put them away, you hussy," she told Haley as she entered her small but modern-looking kitchen, with Becky following behind. The evening chill swept into the kitchen with her friends, making goosebumps appear on her sleeveless bare arms. "I come bearing gifts," Haley replied, placing a shopping bag on the countertop, opening her thick red wool coat and jiggling her enormous boobs with her hands. "And I don't just mean these puppies." Clarissa and Becky burst into a fit of giggles. "You are seriously too much. How does your hubby put up with you?" Becky said, removing her puffer coat and placing it on the back of the chair while trying to fake a shocked look. "Lots of practice," Haley smirked, sliding off her coat and placing it next to Becky. And I mean lots. Wait! Sorry. Doodles.
I just closed my window. The neighbor's dog's barking.
If it wasn't so hot outside. Enough!
They listen well.
Doodles! Enough!
Hey.
I think it's because my neighbours let the dog out. Sorry. Doodles, come here. Let's go. Clarissa finished opening the wine, found some wine glasses, and hugged her two best friends, instantly feeling lighthearted. Sit.
Wow.
That's not part of the book. You do know that big boobs are overrated, Clarissa stated, as she released Becky from a hug. You can talk, woman, Becky chuckled while reaching for a wine glass. You both have big enough boobs to suffocate any man who wants to die happy. Wine sprayed across the kitchen countertop as Haley's mouthful evacuated with force, making them crack up with laughter. She coughed and spluttered as wine dripped down her chin. Clarissa refilled Haley's glass as a wet friend cleaned herself with a tea towel, dabbing her face and soaked wet boobs. Becky looked at her friends with a grin. Let's face it, girls, if either of you went in for a breast reduction, you'd go in with a list of women wanting your leftovers. Clarissa's stomach was starting to ache from laughing, but it felt good to laugh with her friends. There we go.
I love it. Love it. It's hilarious. It is. Anyone that reads this book, you need to, I keep wiping my bloody eyes right now, and that's just the beginning of the book. Karen says, funny, so interesting. Virgie said, I can't find it right now. She says Vicky says she loves the reading.
Oh.
Belinda says, Clue, she's my kind of girl. Lori says, I'm enjoying the reading. I'm just putting the reading. Connie says, love the live reads. Virgie says, love your accent. I want to ask you, you're from England just like me.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what made you decide to have Clarissa take place in England? Is it just because you're English?
I think the main reason was because most of the funniest rom-coms that I've watched or read, mainly watched because I love watching romantic comedies. I love seeing the connection as well as hearing it and stuff like that. Most of them are all British. So, there's so many. I mean, I absolutely adored the Bridget Jones's Diary books.
Oh, it's Hugh Grant.
I'm a huge Bridget Jones fan.
I'm a huge Hugh Grant fan. I love Hugh Grant.
Yeah, oh yeah. And PS I Love You. That was another amazing book and movie.
And what was the one? Where was he at? He had a bookstore. Notting
Hill. Yeah, Notting Hill. That's another one. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. So most of my favourite rom-coms. I'm gonna.
Got a biscuit you can throw?
It's literally just because my neighbour's dog is out. I'm sorry, they can smell him. And I've got 2 girls, and they're like, "Oh,
it's the joy of going live."
I know. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, I think that was the main reason, because literally my favourites are all British rom-coms.
Yeah, I was just curious after reading the book. But I mean, I think it's great because the English humor just pours out of it.
Oh,
I think English humor is a lot different from American humor. I think English humor is very dry.
It's very dry and quick, I think.
Very dry and very quick. And I think if you don't understand, I mean, us being British, we're not offended by it.
Yeah.
But, I think some Americans can get offended by it for the dry humor. And some of the slang too. I mean, I got to ask you this. We're both British. We've both been here for a while. Are you okay for time? Because I know already we might go over a little bit. You're okay for time?
You carry on. I've got all evening.
Did you have any problems with the English language when you came over here? Like a certain something meant something in England, and when you came over here, it did not mean that at all? I'm going to tell you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Let me hear some of yours.
It didn't really affect me so much. I very quickly realised that there was some words that I would have to change so people understood me. So car park, I would call it a car park, but here it's a parking lot.
Yeah.
And I would say car park, and they'd be a what? So there were some words that I had to try and change. I'm going to wring his little neck in a minute. I swear to God. I'm going to murder the cockapoo. Ollie, heel. Let's go. Right, they're coming now. Look, come here.
Is that the doodle?
This is the cockapoo.
The who?
He's small but loud.
Oh, look at you.
This is Oliver. Stay.
Is he the one barking?
Yeah.
He's the one barking.
Little man syndrome.
I don't know what Jack is.
That's what it is, little man syndrome. Yeah, but my kids, now, they had the most fun and the most mishaps, because things like rubber.
Yeah.
That's an eraser in the UK.
Well, that was rubber.
Yeah, so of course my kids are in class and they're like, "Can I borrow your rubber?"
Yeah.
And people are, "You're a
rubber." Yeah, I was 17, and my dad, who was well known in the town because he was an author, he had erasers, of rubbers. He had erasers back then. Yeah. And he said he needed an eraser. Well, by the time I got down to the office supply store in town, I'm in the English town. And I walk into the store, and there's an elderly lady there knitting behind the counter. And I go up to her and I say, "My dad needs some rubbers."
Awkward. I'll tell you the other thing my kids know. I mean, they were teenagers when we moved from the UK. So they were literally, my older 3 were 12, 13 and 14. So they were teenagers. And, at that age, they were all in high school in the UK. So they knew swear words. Yeah. They very quickly realised that nobody here knew what a wanker was.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who don't really know what that is, it basically means you're calling somebody a masturbator. You're like,
yeah,
masturbator. Mm-hmm. But it's a really common medium to mild insult to people in the UK. Like, "Oh, he's a wanker."
Well, it's just like the other one. Can I come knock you up in the morning? That just means wake you up.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean anything. And I said that to a few people. Do you want me to come knock you up in the morning? Sure.
But the thing is, you know what kids are like. You know, once they realise that they could say wanker and not get told off, they were telling all their new friends, "Oh, if he's an idiot, just call him a wanker. He won't know."
And the funny thing is, my son, he was born here in the U.S., but I have always, and I still do, write M-U-M, mum.
Yeah.
And my son writes it too when he writes it. But the very first time, I can't remember how old he was, but he went to go buy his first Mother's Day card. And he was so upset because none of them said M-U-M.
Yeah.
You know, and he came back and said, no, they're all spelled wrong.
Do you know, it's funny because, I mean, we've been here coming up to 13 years now. And, you know, my kids will say mom. I can't say it with an American accent. I just can't do it. But they will say M-O-M.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll say mum, M-U-M. So,
yeah.
So,
but I always say I spell M-U-M. In my books, I don't know. I have to do M-O-M.
Yeah.
The other one, think about the language block. When I first arrived in this country, this is 70s, 79, I arrived at San Francisco airport. I smoked back then. And I get off the airplane and I'm out of cigarettes. So I go to a guy that works at you know what I'm going to say. I go to the guy that obviously works at the airport and I go, is there any fag machines here?
Yeah. Can I get a packet of fags? Because that's what we used to call them.
Do they come in machines now?
I know. Do you know, it's funny because right up until we moved, you know, a lot of our family's older generation would still call them a fag. And it literally, I don't know why a cigarette would be called that. I honestly don't.
I don't either, but that's what I used to call them.
Yeah, but you have to be so careful here.
Nowadays you do. Back in the 70s when I came to this country, it was in England it was everywhere. Yeah. But now, nowadays you can't say half the crap that we said back then, which I think is silly. You know. But anyways, I don't want to get into all that. But I'm looking at the time. Beth, as always, this has been a fabulous, fabulous chat. I could talk to you for the next hour plus.
I know. And do you know what? I am absolutely kicking myself, Tina, because I wish we had managed to regularly get together while I was in California.
I know.
But I had no idea I'd end up moving away, so neither of us felt like we had to rush.
Well, if you ever get back to CA, or if I ever make it that way, I'll definitely keep you in mind. But we are going to be doing something on TikTok when we get our shit together.
Exactly. We just, hopefully, as I said, things are starting to calm down a little bit now. So hopefully we'll be able to do that because I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll do it once we'll tell you guys about it once we have everything.
Yeah.
I wish we could do TikTok and Facebook together. If you figure out a way to do that, I keep looking at StreamYard to see if they allow streaming to TikTok, but they won't do it. And I still prefer Facebook, but we have to put ourselves out there in other form. And I know a lot of people aren't on TikTok, but it's just another platform where we have to be. Yeah. So me and Beth are trying to put our heads together. We're going to do a live once a week on TikTok. We're not there yet, but we're going to be doing it only for 30 minutes, not an hour. Well, who knows? It could be a lot longer. But
we say that. But
we've been moving. I've been busy getting this book out, and we'll get there. We will. But
we certainly will.
Before we sign off, a giveaway. So
I was just going to say what I'm going to do for those people who weren't with us in the beginning. Calling Clarissa ebook is free at the moment on Amazon until midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight. So your friends, your family can all download it quick tonight before it goes back to normal. However, it will still be available on Kindle Unlimited. Earth Angels Book 1 is still completely free, but only the adult edition is available at the moment on Amazon because for whatever reason, they removed the young adult edition ebook.
Amazon did?
yeah, another story. I will tell you all about it another time.
I want to hear that one. I've been hearing a lot of people having issues getting cut down from Amazon.
But the paperback, the young adult paperback, is still available. Anyway, so that's that. But what I'm going to do for our viewers of your live podcast, who I'm going to pick 2 people out of whoever shares this live video. So all you have to do to enter this giveaway is share this live interview. The more times you share it, tagging me so I can see it, you will get the chance to win one of 2 beautiful bookmarks. They're metal, so they will last forever. They're proper metal ones. They are double-sided. I don't know whether you can see. They are double-sided. The tassels in the way. Look.
Oh, these are the ones you sent me. I got them.
Yes.
I got them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're double-sided metal.
They're beautiful. Beautiful.
They are such amazing quality, and I've got 2 of them to give away. So all you got to do is share, and they were made for me by Model 2 Prints. There we go.
Oh, sweet.
That's the company, and the company's actually owned and run by one of my amazing readers, Fleeta Bolton. She is so talented, and this is her company. And she made them for me, and she makes you check her out on Instagram. Honestly, the things that she can make, they're beautiful. So so you could win one of these.
Excellent. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. And that's what I do for my giveaways, the $5 Amazon gift card. I tell them to share. So we're going to have 3 winners, because there'll be 2 of yours and 1 of mine. So if you want to get into the giveaways that we're giving away, I like that. Go ahead and share this video. Make sure you tag me and Beth, because I need to know too. So they got double work this time. Also, I want to just add, I mentioned that me and you are going to be doing a live every week on TikTok in the near future. If you happen to be on TikTok, go ahead and follow me and Beth. You can find us under our name, Tina Hogan Graham, Beth Worsdell. And that way you will get notified when we start doing the lives. So I want to put that out there too. Everybody, thanks for joining us. As always, you guys are fantastic. Beth, as always, you are fantastic. I'll let you have a few words before we sign off.
Well, first, I want to say thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I've had so much fun, as always. And I absolutely am so touched by everybody who's joined in today. If anybody has put a question up and I haven't had to answer it yet, I will look in the comments to try and reply to everybody. But also I'm looking forward to actually starting to do t-shirts again, which will be for Paul and Carissa. So please follow me on all my social media platforms, because I will be doing t-shirts like you've been a bad man, get to my room. Let's get slippy. Get slippy with me. I give good phone. So I'll be. You know. Are you going to
open up a website, a web shop?
Do you know what? I'm thinking about it, but postage and everything is so high right now. It's ridiculous. So and plus advertising and everything. So I think I'm just going to do them for giveaways. You know, because obviously, you know, word of mouth and people sharing your work and sharing your pages has such a beneficial reaction for us authors. Every share of a review or a share of a post makes such a huge difference for us. So I think I'll just be giving them away to people who actively help.
Like promotional
yeah.
stuff. Perfect. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to sign off. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for the great questions. And you do know just to go to the author page, right? In fact, I'm going to talk to you about this after you sign off. All right, everybody. Good night. Have a great night. And thank you.
Have a great week, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
You.